Backslash, hook plus call to action. Midnight to 020, whispering. Suspenseful tone with slow heartbeat in the background. Imagine lying in your bed and hearing someone breathing right underneath you. You're not alone, but the question is, who or what is there? Tonight, I'm going to tell you a story that will make you think twice before sleeping. And if you want to hear the full terrifying story and more stories like this that will chill you to the bone, make sure to hit subscribe, leave a comment with your thoughts, and stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to reveal will haunt you. Yeah, hook. Asterisk curiosity create carta high. Audience okega kia hora high. Asterisk suspenseful tone. Breathing, darkness, unknown entity. Asterisk early CTA, subscribe or comment Kalia. Asterisk audience KO video and tac dekni, Kalia motivate carta high. Here's a complete cinematic YouTube script for your story idea. Someone was breathing under my bed. Crafted for maximum suspense and engagement. Backslash hook, midnight to 005, whispered tone, eerie music builds. Someone was breathing under my bed, and I wasn't alone. Backslash suspenseful setup, 006 to 025. I always thought I was safe in my own room, but that night, something felt wrong. At first, it was just a sound, a soft, almost gentle breathing, coming from beneath me. I froze, tried to convince myself it was my imagination, but deep down I knew it wasn't. Backslash build-up 026 to 130. The room was dark, except for the faint glow of my phone. Every creak of the floorboards made my heart race faster. I pulled the blanket tighter over my head, hoping it would go away. The breathing grew louder, slow, steady, close. I checked the floor. Nothing. Empty. I checked the closet. Empty. And yet, the breathing continued. I even called my best friend, whispering so low I thought I'd wake the neighbors. She told me it was probably a dream, but my gut screamed otherwise. Then, I heard something else. A shuffle, a scrape, right under the bed. I could feel it. Someone or something was moving just inches from me. Backslash mid-story CTA, 131 to 140. Pause for dramatic effect. Whisper slightly louder. If you're hooked already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more chilling stories like this. Backslash main climax, 141 to 210. I finally mustered the courage to lean over and peek under the bed, and I froze. Eyes. Two small, glowing eyes staring back at me from the darkness. The breathing stopped. Then a voice, barely audible, whispered my name. I screamed. The figure vanished before I could see it fully, but the marks remained. Deep scratches along the floorboards. Backslash cliffhanger slash to be continued. 211 to 220. I never felt safe in my room again. Every night, I hear it, breathing, shuffling, waiting, and I know it's still there. To be continued. Absolutely. Here's the continuation of Someone was breathing under my bed from where we left off. Backslash hook slattery engage, midnight to 005. Eerie, slow build of tension. The breathing never stopped, and now it was getting closer. Backslash suspenseful setup, 006 to 025. After that night, I couldn't sleep in my own room. Every shadow felt alive. Every creak a warning. I thought moving the bed, changing the locks, even sleeping on the couch would help, but it didn't, because it wasn't just under my bed anymore. Backslash build up 026 to 130. It started with small things. My pillows moved. My shoes were shifted. Objects would disappear, then reappear in strange places. I told myself I was losing it, but the breathing, it came back. Late at night. Soft, patient, deliberate. One night, I left a small recorder under my bed. I wanted proof. Evidence. When I played it back in the morning, my blood ran cold. It wasn't just breathing. It was whispering. My name. Over and over. Closer. Closer. And then a laugh. Backslash mid-story CTA. 131 to 140. Calm, ominous tone. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe. You don't want to miss how this nightmare unfolds. Backslash main climax. 141 to 220. I decided to face it. That night, I sat on the edge of my bed. I leaned down, trying to confront it, and I saw it. Not just eyes this time. A shadowy figure, hunched, crawling slowly out from under the bed. It looked wrong, distorted, too long, too thin, and then it smiled. Its smile was not human. I jumped back, it vanished, but the room went cold. A whisper came from the corner of the ceiling. "You can't leave." / cliffhanger / to be continued. 2:21 to 2:35. I tried to run, but the door wouldn't open. The breathing was all around me. And then I felt it, hands on my ankles, to be continued. Absolutely. Here's part 3 continuation of Someone Was Breathing Under My Bed, taking the story to a full terrifying confrontation. / hook/re engage, midnight to 0:05. Intense, rapid heartbeat sound. It was holding me down and whispering secrets I wasn't meant to hear. / suspenseful setup, 0:06 to 0:25. I was frozen, ankles gripped by something cold, unyielding. The shadows in my room seemed to stretch and twist. Every instinct screamed to fight, to run, but I couldn't. And then I heard it again. Not just breathing, a voice. Low, gravelly, familiar, yet impossible. "Why are you hiding from me?" / build up, 0:26 to 1:20. I tried a kick to break free, but it tightened its grip. I could feel its presence all around me, pressing into the walls, crawling across the floor. I reached for my phone. No signal. Battery dead. Panic clawed at me. Then I remembered the recorder. I pressed play, trembling. The voice from last night answered back, and the thing under my bed shrieked in pain. It hated being recorded, and for the first time, I felt a flicker of hope. I grabbed the flashlight from my nightstand. I shone it under the bed. / main climax, 1:21 to 2 o'clock. What I saw made me scream. The figure wasn't fully human. Its limbs bent in impossible angles. Its eyes glowed white, unblinking. Its mouth opened too wide, and it whispered my darkest fears back at me. "You lied. You left me." I realized this wasn't just some ghost. It was something connected to me, something I had ignored for years. I swung the flashlight. The figure hissed, recoiled, then vanished, leaving only darkness. But the breathing didn't stop. / cliffhanger / to be continued. 2:01 to 2:20. I thought I was safe. I wasn't. The air grew heavy. I felt it climbing onto the bed this time. To be continued. Absolutely. Here's part 4, the intense and chilling finale of Someone Was Breathing Under My Bed. / hook/re engage, midnight to 0:05. Heartbeat thumping, tense whisper. It climbed onto my bed and stared at me like I was prey. / suspenseful setup, 0:06 to 0:25. I could feel its weight pressing down on the mattress. Cold fingers brushed my arms. The air was thick, suffocating. And it spoke again, low, chilling, almost gentle. "You can't hide from me." / build up, 0:26 to 1:15. I scrambled backward, knocking over the lamp. Shadows exploded across the walls. I grabbed anything to defend myself. A book, a pillow, my own fists. But it was faster than I could move. It whispered memories only I could know, secrets I had never told anyone. I realized this wasn't a random haunting. It knew me, it fed on me, and it wasn't finished. / mid-story CTA, 1:16 to 1:25. Soft but urgent tone. If you're still watching, subscribe now. You won't believe how this nightmare ends. / main climax, 1:26 to 2:10. I saw a shadow detach from its form. Another me. A dark reflection. It mimicked my every move, whispering my fears aloud. I screamed, "What do you want from me?" It leaned close, its glowing eyes boring into mine. "You left me, but now you can't leave me." Suddenly, everything went silent. No breathing. No shadows. Just a cold, empty room. I thought it was over. I thought I was safe. Then I felt it behind me. Backslash cliffhanger slash final to be continued. 2:11 to 2:30. I didn't dare turn around. I could feel its presence, close enough to touch. A whisper in my ear. Next time, I won't wait under the bed. To be continued. Absolutely. Here's part 6, the ultimate climactic finale of Someone Was Breathing Under My Bed. Backslash hook slash are engage, midnight to 0:05. Heartbeat pounding, whispers overlapping. It wasn't under the bed. It was inside me and I couldn't move. Backslash suspenseful setup, 0:06 to 0:25. For weeks, it had been learning me, watching me, waiting. I realized every time I thought it vanished, it never really left. It was part of the room, part of the house, part of me. Backslash build up, 0:26 to 1:20. I tried everything. Burning sage, locking doors, even sleeping elsewhere. But wherever I went, the whispers followed. I started seeing shadows in daylight, reflections moving against logic. And then I remembered the recorder. I pressed play again. The whispers from before returned, only louder, and a new voice joined in mine. Don't fight. Don't hide. You can't leave. I screamed. The air went icy, and I felt it crawling inside me, reaching for my mind, my memories, my soul. Backslash mid-story CTA, 1:21 to 1:30. Urgent whisper, leaning into suspense. Subscribe if you haven't yet. The next moments are too terrifying to miss. Backslash main climax, 1:31 to 2:10. I fell to the floor, clutching my head. It spoke through me, not in my ears and my thoughts. You left me alone, now I take what's mine. The room twisted around me. The walls seemed alive. The bed creaked, though no one was on it. Then I felt it, cold, crushing, invasive. It wasn't just a ghost, not a shadow. It was something older, something that fed on fear, on guilt, on life. I screamed, and the voice in my head laughed. Then it whispered one final sentence. You can't hide, and you can never leave. Backslash cliffhanger slash final to be continued. 2:11 to 2:30. The lights went out. I was alone and not alone. Breathing everywhere. Inside me. Around me. Waiting. To be continued. Absolutely. Here's a behind-the-story slash explanation episode continuation for Someone Was Breathing Under My Bed, designed to keep viewers engaged and build tension for potential sequels. Backslash hook slash are engage, midnight to 0:05. Slow, eerie background music. You've heard the story, but what if I told you the truth is even worse? Backslash suspenseful setup, 0:06 to 0:25. Weeks after my encounters, I started digging, researching local legends, old police reports, and news articles. It wasn't just my room or my house. There were others. Stories of something hiding, waiting, feeding. Backslash build up, 0:26 to 1:20. I learned it had a pattern. It attached to fear, guilt, or unresolved trauma. Victims often describe the same things. Breathing under the bed, shadows in daylight, whispers in their own voices. Some even disappeared. Completely. I found an old diary in the attic of my house. Pages yellowed, ink smeared. One entry chilled me. Asterisk, it waits under the bed, but it is not under the bed. It is inside you. It knows your fears, your secrets. It will take you if you try to run. Asterisk, that's when I realized this wasn't just a haunting. It wasn't just a ghost. Backslash mid-story CTA, 1:21 to 1:30. Urgent whisper, leaning closer to the mic. Subscribe if you haven't yet. The next part will reveal the darkest secrets behind this entity and what it wants from you. Backslash main climax, 1:31 to 2:10. Everything started to make sense. The glowing eyes, the laughter, the voice echoing inside my head. It was feeding on me. My fear, my guilt, my hesitation. The recorder, the flashlight. It could not stand being exposed. It hated light, proof, and attention. But it wasn't just here to scare me. It wanted control. It wanted a host. And the more I researched, the more I realized I wasn't the first, and I might not be the last. Backslash cliffhanger slash to be continued. 2:11 to 2:30. As I spoke into the camera that night, I felt it again. Not under the bed, not behind me, inside me, whispering, "You know I will always be here, waiting." To be continued. Absolutely. Here's part 7, the final showdown/survival guide episode of Someone Was Breathing Under My Bed. /hook/re-engage, midnight to 0:05. Intense, pounding heartbeat with a low whisper. It was inside me, and I had to fight, or I would be gone forever. /suspenseful setup, 0:06 to 0:25. After weeks of terror, I knew I couldn't wait. It had grown stronger, closer, more confident. Every shadow, every whisper, every cold touch reminded me it wasn't leaving, and I had one choice: face it or disappear completely. /build up, 0:26 to 1:20. I prepared. Salt, sage, lights, recordings, everything I could use to expose it. I wrote down my fears. Every guilt, every secret. If it fed on fear, I would give it my courage instead. That night, I sat on the edge of bed. The lights flickered. The breathing began, slow, deliberate, mocking. I shone the flashlight under the bed. Nothing. Then behind me, a cold whisper in my ear. "You can't hide from me." I swung the recorder beneath the bed and pressed play. The voice shrieked, screaming in rage, as if the sound itself burned it. I began reciting everything I feared, but in reverse. My words became a weapon. /mid-story CTA, 1:21 to 1:30. Urgent whisper. If you're still here, subscribe now. The climax you're about to see will chill you to the bone. /main climax, 1:31 to 2:10. The bed creaked violently. Shadows twisted and writhed. I felt it pull, clawing inside me, but the light and my words pushed back. It shrieked in a voice that wasn't mine, a sound that froze my blood. I could feel it weakening, resisting the exposure. Then silence. I held my breath. Nothing moved. Nothing whispered. For the first time in weeks, I felt alone. /cliffhanger/ to be continued. 2:11 to 2:30. I thought I had won. But as I turned to leave the room, I saw it, reflected in the mirror, a shadowy figure, smiling, waiting, still there, to be continued. Absolutely. Here's part 8, the ultimate finale and shocking reveal of Someone Was Breathing Under My Bed. /hook/re-engage, midnight to 0:05. Low, echoing whisper with distant creaking. It never left, and now I know why. /suspenseful setup, 0:06 to 0:25. Weeks of terror had led me here. Every night, every shadow, every whisper had been building toward this moment. I thought I understood it. I was wrong. This wasn't just a ghost, not just a shadow. It was something far older, far smarter, far hungrier. /build up, 0:26 to 1:20. I researched everything I could find. Local legend spoke of a lurker, a being that attaches to guilt and fear. Old police files hinted at disappearances with the same signs. Whispers moving shadows, eyes glowing in the dark. And then I realized the truth. It doesn't just haunt a place. It haunts a soul. Once it finds you, it follows until you belong to it. That night, I faced in the mirror. The reflection wasn't mine. Its eyes glowed white. Its grin stretched impossibly wide. It whispered, "You try to run, but you can never leave me." /mid-story CTA, 1:21 to 1:30. Whisper, tense pause. Subscribe now if you dare. The final truth will shock you. /main climax, 1:31 to 2:10. I tried everything. Light, sage, my voice, the recorder. It shrieked and twisted, trying to escape exposure. But then, something I hadn't expected. It paused, and for the first time I understood. It thrives on fear and attention. I stayed silent. I didn't flinch. I didn't scream. The room went cold. Its glowing eyes dimmed. It vanished, but not completely. It left a warning, carved into the mirror in the condensation of my own breath. Next time, I won't wait. Backslash cliffhanger slash resolution. 2:11 to 2:30. I survived, but I am changed. I can feel it. Still watching, waiting, breathing. And I know this story isn't over. The end for now. Absolutely. Here's the companion, viewer survival guide slash lore exploration episode for Someone Was Breathing Under My Bed, designed to extend engagement and create an interactive experience for the YouTube audience. Backslash hook slash re-engage, midnight to 0:05, soft, eerie music, whispering echo. You've heard the story, now here's how to survive it if it finds you. Backslash suspenseful setup, 0:06 to 0:25. The entity isn't just a ghost. It's intelligent, patient, and it feeds on fear. If you think you're safe under your bed, or anywhere, it could be closer than you think. Here's what I learned from surviving, and what you need to know. Backslash build up, 0:26 to 1:21. Don't run blindly. Asterisk, asterisk. Entities like this thrive on panic. Staying calm, hard as it may seem, keeps it from gaining strength. 2. Light is your friend. Asterisk, asterisk. It hates exposure. Bright lights, cameras, and recordings can disrupt it. 3. Speak carefully. Asterisk, asterisk. Whispers, threats, or even fear-filled words feed it. Speak deliberately and record evidence if you can. 4. Understand its pattern. Asterisk, asterisk. It feeds on your guilt and secrets. Reflecting on your fears and facing them head-on can weaken its influence. 5. Never ignore small signs. Asterisk, asterisk. Breathing under the bed. Shadows in the corners. Whispers. Each warning is real. Backslash mid-story CTA, 1:21 to 1:30. Soft, urgent tone. If you want more chilling survival guides and real ghost stories, subscribe now. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Backslash main climax, 1:31 to 2:10. Some survivors have reported temporary reprieves using mirrors, light, and recordings. Others weren't so lucky. The key is awareness, preparation, and courage. Remember, it follows the mind, not just the body. Facing it mentally can sometimes give you the edge, at least long enough to escape. Backslash cliffhanger slash to be continued. 2:11 to 2:30. I still feel it watching me. And based on what I've learned, it isn't done yet. To be continued. Absolutely. Let's slowly move the story toward a true closing while maintaining tension. This will be part 9, bridging the survival guide into a final ending. Backslash hook slash re-engage, midnight to 0:05. Soft, tense music, almost a whisper. It's been months, but I still hear it breathing. Backslash suspenseful setup, 0:06 to 0:25. After everything, I tried to live normally. I moved rooms. I slept with lights on. I kept the recorder, the sage, everything I thought could protect me. And yet, I could feel it. Patient. Waiting. Backslash build up, 0:26 to 1:20. Sometimes, I hear it in the silence of the night. A breath under the bed, or maybe behind me. Shadows in the corner of my vision. It doesn't scream anymore. It doesn't have to. It's learned me. My fears. My patterns. I've learned something too. Fear is power. Awareness is survival. And light, literal or metaphorical, gives me control. I started keeping a journal, writing my thoughts, naming my fears. Each night, I face them, and it loses a little of its strength. But it hasn't gone. It never leaves. Backslash mid-story CTA, 1:21 to 1:30. Calm, reflective tone. If you've been following this story, subscribe so you don't miss more true encounters and survival strategies. Backslash main climax, 1:31 to 2:10. The breathing under the bed, the whispers in the dark, they've become part of my life. I no longer panic. I no longer scream. I acknowledge it. I exist alongside it. Sometimes I wonder, am I stronger now or just resigned? I've survived for now. Backslash closing slash slow ending, 2:11 to 2:30. I've learned one thing. You can't run from your fears. You can't run from entities like this. You face them You understand them, and you survive, if you're lucky. But be careful, because even when it seems gone, it's never really gone. The end. Absolutely. Here's a graceful cinematic ending episode for Someone Was Breathing Under My Bed that closes a story while leaving a lingering sense of mystery. /hook/re engage, midnight to 0:05. Soft, almost peaceful music with a faint whisper fading in the background. It's over, or at least, that's what I hope. /suspenseful setup 0:06 to 0:25. Months have passed since the last encounter. The breathing, the shadows, the whispers, they've all quieted. I've learned to live cautiously. Lights on at night, rituals of protection, keeping journals of thoughts and fears. It doesn't terrify me anymore. It waits silently. /build up 0:26 to 1:15. I reflect on what I've survived. The entity was not random. It followed fear, fed on doubt, and thrived in silence. I faced it, acknowledged it, and slowly reclaimed my life. I've learned that courage doesn't mean defeating it completely. It means refusing to let it control you. Some nights, I still feel a cold presence, a whisper at the edge of hearing. But now I observe, I breathe, I stay calm. And in that stillness, I've found peace. /mid-story CTA 116 to 125. Gentle, reflective tone. If you followed this journey, subscribe for more stories of survival, courage, and the unexplained. /main climax 126 to 210. The last time I saw the shadow, it was quiet, almost hesitant. I shined a light on it. For a moment, it paused. Then it retreated, slowly, deliberately. I realized something important. Some things are not meant to be destroyed. Some things are meant to be understood. I've survived not because it's gone, but because I've learned to coexist with my fears. /closing/graceful ending 2:11 to 2:30. I close the door at night. I breathe deeply. The world is quieter now. The bed is just a bed. The shadows are just shadows. I don't know if it's truly gone, and maybe I never will. But I found my strength, my calm, my life, and that's enough. The end.